Alrighty then. So, we got a little popular over the past couple of days. The video in question, a sexy 9% body fat, chasing 5%, garnered around 1,400 views, which is the most amount of views I have been able to accumulate on one video. So really cool. I give credit to the thumbnail, and then the video subsequent after that one, that's kind of redundant, got 300 views, which is honestly still more than the other long form content videos that I post. So really cool. Almost at 500 subscribers. Not a big deal to you guys, maybe, but definitely a big deal to me. Because, it's baby steps. I'm all about baby steps. So, this is very exciting. Things are definitely underway, and perhaps I just want to take this opportunity to restate the long game, because it's always good for me to get an understanding as to what I'm doing right now that shoots out into the not so distant future, where essentially, just for anyone who's listening, my aim is to take the story of a fitness influencer or a fitness enthusiast or a health and wellness consultant and turn it into a TV show the likes of Mad Men. So in the same way that Mad Men depicted society in the 1950s, I want to depict fitness society, health and wellness culture in 2023. And I want to show the passion and how people interact when they are striving to be the best versions of themselves. I don't want to make it about vanity. I want to make it about just individuals who are seeking to improve themselves and achieve financial independence through the content that they create. And I want to be the central figure, because I'll do the best job explaining what the fuck it is that's going on. But that's my idea. Granted, we would have other people in the story that aren't necessarily lined up with that career path, and those are, side characters that would get their own little episodes and stuff like that. But that's the long haul. When will I get to do that? Years down the line. It is really all depending as to how quickly I can evolve. And, life is just a process of evolution. This is a very interesting time right now because, well, let's just talk about the thing that occurred today, where I was able to go on Instagram Live with a budding fitness influencer. His name is Christian Getty. His Instagram handle is Getty Fit, Getty Fit. And right now he's at 97,000 followers on Instagram. So he was gracious enough to hop on Instagram Live with me, and he allowed me to interview him and ask him questions about how he got into the fitness industry, how he started posting content. He told me a story of how he got down to 3.3% body fat and literally almost died. He took himself to the hospital because he was feeling weird, and the doctors were telling him, listen, if you hadn't taken yourself into the hospital, you might not have made it another month because your liver was failing, yada, yada, yada. So very interesting story and a very interesting conversation. I'm really grateful that I was able to have it with him. Reflections on the conversation. The one thing that sticks in mind is this concept of success is just so fascinating to me, because I said in an earlier video, it's a thing that I've never truly experienced. I've done creative things and experienced small levels of success. The height of my experience of doing something and becoming popular at it was when I was in high school. I was in a comedy group called Young Folks Comedy, and we made one viral video where we made fun of all the popular kids at our high school, and it blew up in the local town that we were living in. And then as a result, one video gets popular, and then all of a sudden our entire catalog becomes something worth watching. So we became overnight celebrities, so to speak, in a very short amount of time. We actually got suspended from school for 5 days, which even added more to our mythos and our legacy. So that was like the height of my experience of what it meant to do something, to make content and actually have it become successful or popular. Granted, I never made any money off of it, which is the next part of my plan. But I got to taste it then, and that was in a group. And for many years after that experience, I actually obsessed over that group because I thought that what we did was special. And I actually wrote a book about it. I'm not going to get into that. But what I am going to get into is this lack of knowledge about success and what it actually takes. So talking to Christian, who has 97,000 followers on Instagram, a number that I don't even know what he did to do it, probably just consistency, but more power to him. And seeing the people, the followers jump in on the call, because it was a live streaming, and it was just very interesting to see. At no given time was there less than 15 people viewing, and they were actually commenting, sending words of encouragement to Christian specifically, because that's who they were tuning in for. And then by the end of the 45-minute call, 780 people had hopped on to take a look at what we were talking about. And maybe these numbers aren't a big deal at the grand scheme of things, but I just find it fascinating to cultivate any kind of audience. I don't know, there's something very interesting to me about that, this concept of doing something that people are interested in watching and listening to you talk about. I've never really experienced it, and to consider that this is what I want to do, this is the route that I'm taking. I foresee in my future a live stadium full of thousands of people, and I'm speaking to them about this type of thing. Self-improvement, health and wellness, the way of the shred. That's what I envisioned for myself. And to see the little inklings of it right now, and to also understand how much further I have to go. I got home tonight a couple of hours ago, and I spent 2 to 3 hours working on a logo for my brand, The Way of the Shred, just so I can, attach that logo and that brand to all of my future content so it becomes more recognizable. And I would love to pay someone to make my brand. I would love to pay someone to edit these videos. And I do want to give a disclaimer, like, I know that I should be editing these. I know 100%. The reason why I'm shredded is because I don't want to edit these videos. I figured that the more shredded I become, the less of a necessity it is to actually edit my long form content. And I know that's not the case. It's just my logic at this current stage. I'm not a great editor. I would much rather, again, pay someone to edit it for me. I'm not at that level yet. I have a day job that I want to quit. Any money I spend, such as my income, is spent on the bare essentials because I'm saving my money, which is also kind of cool since it kind of happened simultaneously. One day I was a binge eater, and any opportunity that I had to overeat and spend $100 in one day and eat 5,000 calories, I would take it. And the next day, I realized that I'm spending my fucking budget on food that I shouldn't be eating, and it's to my detriment, because if my goal is to turn myself into a fitness influencer, then eating 5,000 calories in a day isn't going to do it. Unless I was posting a video about like, oh, look at me, I ate 5,000 calories. And guess what? I would have to edit that video. My point exactly. So I say all this to say that I am definitely starting to think more strategically about this whole thing. I think it's really cool that my last couple of videos received an uptick in views. I don't know, it's all happening very slowly, to which at some extent I am grateful for, because there's definitely a learning curve. As I said in my last video, I figured out how to get shredded and how to maintain this level of shred while I pursue my 5% body fat. The things I haven't figured out is literally everything else. Making content, editing content, promoting a business, client retention, all of that shit is still being worked out, and it's going to take time. I'm going to have a day job for longer than I would like. I'm not going to put a number on it, because the faster I can learn, the better. One thing that my mother used to say is that she has 3 sons, and she used to say that I was never I was never the brightest of the 3, but I was always the most persistent. That's what she said to me. And you get to a certain age and you start thinking, maybe she's right. It does take me a while to actually wrap my head around things, but I'm going to choose to work with it. AI is here, so I can work with artificial intelligence on the shit that I don't understand, and I've already started doing that, just for writing captions on social media posts and shit like that. I plan to use it more often, but I don't feel like it's disingenuous personally, because I'm telling it what I want it to say, and then it's just making it more flowery. And as long as I disclose it on here, then I don't really feel like I'm being deceptive. And maybe that's the last thing I'll say before I turn this off and take a walk and go to sleep and get ready for the next day, is I feel like I'm going undercover as a fitness influencer, learning exactly what's required in order to win at this game. I already have the physique, I understand that, but it's more than that. It's flashy, it's eye-catching, it's something that engages with the audiences. And what I'm hoping that this YouTube algorithm does for me is actually start to figure out who my audience actually is, which is really fucking gym bros that are interested in working out and getting shredded, and they like superheroes and comic books and animes and also fitness, and maybe they like Mad Men, at which time they will love the show that I make, because it's going to be Mad Men meeting fitness culture and health and wellness all together and taking over the world and making $1 billion and yada yada yada. But that's years down the line. So yeah, I hope that the YouTube algorithm is starting to understand who my audience is, because that will help me grow my audience. And what I will take accountability for on my end is I do acknowledge that I probably need to make these vlog videos less frequent and focus more on engaging content, stuff that's actually edited. So the next video that I want to do, or at least my next edited video that I want to do, is someone had commented in one of my past videos to do a video on what I ate to get shredded. So that's going to be my next edited content, long form, on YouTube. And it's a shout out to, I'm sorry I don't remember your name, who asked for that, but that's a shout out to you, and I'm going to be editing that and posting that hopefully within the next 2 weeks. And I just want to get in the habit of caring more about all of this, all the aspects, because the more I care, the more obsessed I become, the more passionate I get, the quicker and the smoother this process will go. And to anyone out there who's watching that is in my circle, I am dialing in. So please either help me or don't bother me. And I say that as nicely as I can. Help me or don't bother me. This is the time to focus and actually achieve a level of success that I've never experienced. And that's what my life will be about until I achieve that level of success. Excluding my son, who will always have the stuff that, well, he's my son, so he gets me. He always gets me. But please don't be selfish with me. And I'll leave it at that. This is an exciting time for anyone who's watching still. I love you. We'll continue to provide updates, but understanding the content needs to get higher in quality. So I'll keep that in mind. See you on the next one. Like and subscribe. Let's get to 500 subscribers, bro. Peace.